In this module, we will be looking at the life cycle of assets from a financial viewpoint. We will begin by looking at the various stages of an asset's life cycle. We will then set out the costs and associated risks for every stage, as well as the value it provides. An asset's life cycle includes 4 stages: the acquisition stage, the operation stage, the maintenance stage, and the decline stage. All of these stages come with costs and risks or bring value to the organization. Throughout the life cycle, risks correspond to asset malfunctions, which may have more or less significant consequences and which may result in costs. The value corresponds to the financial added value that this asset brings to the company. Let's begin by the acquisition stage, which is the most costly. In effect, this stage includes the costs of research and development, in other words, the financing of studies prior to the asset being put in place, as well as purchasing or construction costs, and lastly, the cost of bringing the asset into operation. The value provided to the company during the stage lies in the production capacity made available thanks to the installation of the asset. The operation stage, which represents the most significant stage of the asset's life cycle, includes operating costs. It is included in the remuneration of the asset operators, as well as the costs linked to its operation, which are significant. For example, the electrical consumption of a pump can account for up to 90% of the total costs of the asset. It is also during this stage that the asset provides the most value, as it consists of a production stage. The third stage, the maintenance stage, is characterized by maintenance costs. These costs encompass new service costs, the cost of hiring machinery necessary for certain repairs, for example, as well as any investments in spare parts when necessary. In this stage, it's the act of maintaining the availability of the asset thanks to its upkeep, which brings value to the organization. And lastly, the decline stage corresponds to the moment when the costs of maintenance exceed operating costs, given that the asset has reached the end of its life. It is therefore time to replace it. Depending on the case, this operation can either provide value or result in costs. If the asset is still in working order and can be sold on, or if a part of it can be, this equates to a creation of surplus value. If, on the other hand, no profit can be gained from it, which is namely the case in civil engineering, the cost of disposing of the asset can be high. Once the asset is replaced, a new life cycle begins. So let's go back over what we've learned. An asset's life cycle is composed of 4 different stages: the acquisition stage, the operation stage, the maintenance stage, and the decline stage. For every stage, value and costs are generated, which is important to be able to balance out.